I want to ask you this. Short term, we were going to talk about the hex price in relation to V3 and mainnet and all that. We're seeing it right before our eyes right now. But I want to get your longer term view, Ewok, as we head into this bull cycle and presumably we'll be here for the next 2.5 years or so through 2025 at the very least. I mean, this isn't pinpointed. I know a lot of people have different ideas, but what is your conservative estimate for Hex's top? And I guess I'm talking about EHEX technically, and we can get into that when we think we'll see parity on both chains. But what is your conservative, I guess, median and aggressive kind of price target roughly for Hex over this bull run? Where do you kind of see it going?
Wow. Conservative. Let's do conservative first. I think we easily see between $1.50, $1.75. Easily.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mid-range, I think $5 is quite possible as well. That's kind of where my target is more between $4.25 and $5 somewhere.
Yeah.
And then if you want my strictly Moon Boy estimate, I think we could get to $16 or $17 if everything works out, in our favor. And it's really going to depend on how many people sell. What's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of people that end up with some liquid and just keep getting out. Like they're not going to be able to contain themselves and hold it in order to get that high. I mean, I think it's possible,
right,
if people don't sell and they're locked up like they should be, earning more. That is possible. Numbers like 17, $20, quite possible. Now, whether it will happen this cycle, I'm not sure. But I could easily see $5 happening. And quite conservative, and that is if everything goes well. The documentary comes out, PulseChain launches flawlessly. You end up with 2 coins. Now, yes, that's my ETH target. What's the Pulse side going to do? That's another thing too. So there's a lot of things. Is the majority of the market on the ETH side going to sell off and try to move their stuff over there because it's a lot cheaper for gas? I kind of see what's going to happen is the whales are going to maintain the ETH side of things because they don't care about gas fees. You know what I mean?
true.
I could see them maintaining that side because they don't want to give it away either. I think they'll hold the price up just fine. And then you have a lot of smaller buyers that are going to, even out the other side. The whales may get in there too. Who knows? If they've got enough money, I see parity happening within 6 months. I think you could see an even price on both sides. And then if the liquidity is tied properly, they would technically move together. So,
Right.
we'll see what happens. It could happen even sooner than that. If things go right, one could come down, one could come up. They meet each other. Liquidity gets set, boom, and we're off to the races, and it stays pretty even on both sides. It's kind of like Bitcoin on so many different exchanges. How does it stay so close? Well, it's because of all the arbitrage opportunities, right? They take these opportunities and they'll buy it, even if it's a couple bucks more over here. They'll buy it on this one, sell it over here. And what they do is they keep money on each exchange. And they don't really move it from one to the other. They just technically buy it over here and sell it over here. So their holdings are, it's all about the arbitrage profits. And that's one of the reasons why it's so dangerous to leave money on exchanges. But for the people that arbitrage, or they even have bots that do it for them. So, I see it. Yeah, I see it hitting those levels on both chains, actually. That's why I said 150, 175. on both chains, because then you're really looking at 350 overall.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you get to that $5 target, that's just a cool 300x from the lows. So
Yeah,
not too shabby at all. But yeah, you walk.
yeah,
That does make a lot of sense. That's what I was thinking too. Is like, if $5 is the aggressively realistic target, does that just make 250 on each chain or something? Because
right.
yeah, that would make sense. And something you said that was interesting there too, because a big thing people have been worried about, I guess, for a while is like what will happen to EHEX, like what will happen to the price on that side. And I think you're right that the smaller buyers will be more apt to like cash out of EHEX and move over to Pulse, but smarter. Well, I'm not trying to insult smaller buyers, but smarter or bigger whales could not only because they can afford the gas fees more, but could just see the opportunity within scooping up all that EHEX. And
Yeah,
that's what I think you have to do with the game theory of this Pulse stuff is like you have to go this is with everything in crypto, but you have to go the opposite of the masses. You have that.
right.
I mean, that's the reason we're all in HEX to begin with, because nobody else is. So
Yeah,
or it still hasn't reached virality or anything yet. But like, yeah, it's going to be like, I could even see wanting to scoop up EHEX if it just like short term plummets while people move things to Pulse.
sure.
Because that's going whole value. I mean, how many hexagons are like 90+% staked for up to like a 6-7 year average up to 15 years on Ethereum? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not going anywhere.
Something else that could happen too is if you get a lot of stakers that move over to PulseChain, that share rate could really rocket over there, and the share rate could be a better deal on Ethereum. It just may be a little more expensive to transact,
Mhm.
but if you've got a lot of people on PulseChain that think, all right, I'm going to do a bunch of these 30-day stakes, and
Hmm.
over and over and over, because it's pennies. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you only make $5-10 on even smaller transactions, you're still only paying pennies for it. So they may find some value in the shorter staking, but that's also going to increase the share rate on the Pulse side. So you may get a better deal with share rate on the ETH side because people are staked out for longer. So that's going to be another interesting play, something to keep an eye on too.
Yeah, yeah, that is interesting. So many ways to play it, and it's going to be coming soon. I mean, again, we already speculated as to when. I think we could be looking at as short as, I don't know, 48 hours, which I kind of doubt, to probably a
Yeah.
little over 2 weeks. I think that's might be our gap here. And a lot of people had been thinking, even prior to Richard's tweets these last couple of days, that it would still be months after V3 until like people were saying May if we get V3 here in March. I don't know, man. I don't think I see that at this point. I just don't think this is going to last very long.
Nope, I don't either. I
Yeah.
think a conservative estimate is 5 days, give or take.
HEXPassiveIncome.com. My friend Crypto Coffee has created what I think is probably the best course for a new cryptocurrency investor. Not only that, but these courses usually charge an arm and a leg. Crypto Coffee is only charging $200. I think right now he actually has a discount for $150. I have a link below in the description. If you are new to crypto, do not understand HEX and how it works, click the link below. It's a quick, easy course. He only gives you the basics. I personally, myself, have thought about creating an intro to crypto course in the past. I don't think there's any reason to do so because Matt, Crypto Coffee, has already taken care of that. And I don't think anything needs to be added by anybody else. So check it out. The link is in the description, and sign up to HEX Passive Income today.
Man. It's just going to be, I mean, for the hype that's happening right now with a test net, I mean, man, this thing going live is just going to be absolute pandemonium. So, yeah, good news tonight. Richard Hart timing the market. I don't know, timing our show. Yeah, I think he purposely released this news a little over an hour ago to help us with
Just for
content
us.
tonight. Yeah, so
So
we
before we
are.
move on,
Go
hang
ahead.
on one second. The
Yeah.
one thing I didn't think about is I don't know how many developers Richard is working with PulseChain too. You know, he's going to want to give them a little bit of time to get things launched on the V3 as well. So, you know, now that I think about it, we may not want to rush it if he wants to get some things. You know, he's a Richard Hart maxi. That's really all he cares about. But he understands that we do need an ecosystem as well, right? If we want this to be successful, there's a lot of people. There's probably 100 projects that are sitting there waiting for V3 to launch, at least so that they can get it running. Now, V3 will continue on into perpetuity, right? It will forever be the test net for PulseChain. So they'll be able, anybody that wants to play around and try to launch something can try it on the test net. So I don't know if there's any other developers that are in his ear saying, hey, let's, you know, at least give us so much time to get our stuff up and launched to see if it works before you go crazy and do it within, you know, 48 hours. So I didn't even think about that.
That's a good call. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, I mean, you don't want to get to the point. I mean, look, this thing has been going on for so long already anyway, and has been quote unquote delayed. Why wouldn't, you know, why would that not also be the case with that? So yeah, it's going to be a crazy next couple of weeks. I don't know where this price short term could. I mean, you said it, Ewok. I mean, you thought like 15 to 20 cents after V3 was announced, and we're sitting here still at about 12.2. So not a far cry till 15. So yeah, exciting time to be alive. And if you are someone who has sat on the sidelines for whatever reason all this time, even when, I mean, you could have FOMO'd in at 5 cents. I mean, like, you know, things have been bullish again here for quite a while. I don't know if like right now, we already discussed this, is the time to just FOMO in everything at 12 cents after this green God candle on a V3 announcement. But, you know, get a position, you know, not financial advice, but if you don't have one now and you're stressed about it, just get a position, like we said earlier. I mean, I like to, when I'm in a situation like that, I like to put a quarter of whatever stack I might be looking at in, maybe a third, something like that, just so I, you know, have the coins. And, yeah, I mean, you could be a week away from a copy on PulseChain. Who knows? So you don't want to miss out on that. So
for sure.